Hi everybody, welcome to Forex Trading Analysis. It is April 4th at 10:42 p.m. and today we're going to be looking at three different pairs, but before we get started, I want to do a quick risk disclaimer. So foreign exchange trading carries a high level of risk. Before you decide to trade foreign exchange, we encourage you to consider your investment objectives, your risk tolerance, and your trading experience. It is possible to lose some or all of your initial investment, so don't invest money you can't afford to lose. Seek advice from an independent financial or tax advisor, and all information provided in this video is for educational purposes only and should not be construed as trading advice or counsel. So, three pairs I want to take a look at today. First of all, the euro, which has been, over the past couple days, in a strong downtrend. We had the FOMC minutes yesterday, which is what this strong bar is. The bias after these meetings was to the downside after QE was said to be unlikely, and so the close is around 1.3216, and that was a pretty strong bar. I think all in all it happened to be around 120 pips, so big move to the downside. And to me what this means is, if you've been watching my couple videos, I did predict a pretty strong downtrend for the euro, and I think that this is going to be the start of that downtrend. So for right now, the levels I'll be looking at to define my risk are the 38.2. I'm going to redraw this so it's a little bit easier to see. This right here is the Fibonacci of the downtrend from the highs back in October. And if I throw in another Fibonacci here, the 38.2 retracement and the 61.8 line up pretty well. So around the 50, if we do push back up to the 50, I think that the euro has a little bit more to push from the upside. Buyers are still in the market because we have been in a pretty strong uptrend of late, and so I think buyers will push this pair back up to around the 50% Fibonacci. But if we do see the 50% cut through, I think that the 60, 61, and 38.2 are going to be strong levels for selling. So sellers will be looking to re-enter the market, and also the 100 and 200 moving averages are slipping down and are around that area too, and will be if we continue to push that high. So for right now, the RSI is still below 50, and I think that we still do have a little bit to push up from the euro. So trading this pair is going to be a waiting game for tomorrow and the next day. But I think we do have some good trading opportunities from the euro. I think that a very strong downtrend has started, and my bias will remain down. So that will also affect the other pairs. Another one that I want to look at is the dollar yen, which, if you look at a chart, has been in an extremely large uptrend since this is February, beginning of February. So there are a lot of buyers in the market for the yen right now, but we have had a correction to the downside, and I think we still have a little bit more to run for that. So I think eventually we will, if I throw in a Fibonacci, the dailies, this is going to be a little bit of a longer term trade. The 38.2 is definitely a level that I think we'll reach in the distant future. We could see it, if not this week, maybe next week. And I do see the 38.2 to be an easy level that the yen could reach, and that's a pretty sizable trade. That's around 90 pips. So this is going to be a good pair that we do still have a lot of push to the downside left, and I think we might even reach the 50. So a lot of opportunity from this pair, and I will be looking to trade that. My bias is still to the downside, just because a break to the upside from the yen is difficult based on the last 10 years of trading. So my bias for the yen is to the downside, and I think that it will remain that way for quite some time. So that is a trade that I'll be looking to enter sometime this week. The last pair that I want to take a look at, and probably the most important for me right now, is the pound dollar, which, if you look at the news breaks for tomorrow, we actually have 4 important updates. That's manufacturing production, asset purchase, official bank rate, MPC, and as well as unemployment claims from the US dollar. So those come out early this morning on the East Coast in New York time, and those are going to be very important numbers for this pair. So we will be looking for, right now, all the numbers are predicted to be the same as they were last year, and so this is going to be a good day to trade the pound, because if we do see either numbers that are better than expected or numbers that are worse than expected from 2 out of these 3, or 2 out of the 4, or even 3 out of the 4, then we could see a strong move in either direction from the pound. And so if we throw on the charts here, we did have, because of the euro weakness, the pound has sold off a little bit. I don't think it sold off as much as the euro. I'm not sure the exact numbers, but it had a little bit of a smaller correction. And we have had a much stronger push to the upside. If you look on the hourly charts for the euro, pretty small push here, around 38 pips, but the pound push to the upside was around 60. So there are a lot of more buyers for the pound right now, which I think is indicative of good numbers coming out of Britain over the next couple days. I think that we could see a larger push to the upside from the pound, but until then, I'll be looking at similar levels that I threw on for the euro, which is again going to be the 50% retracement, which is again around the 100 and 200 moving averages, which are beginning to slope to the downside. So if we do start to close above those levels, then my bias to the upside is definitely going to be confirmed. But the numbers are going to have to be pretty good out of the pound tomorrow in order to push this pair to a large degree to the upside, just because the euro weakness, I believe, is going to happen over the next couple of days. So for me, pound still is short, and I like a short trade out of the pound based on euro weakness. And I think that if the numbers come out tomorrow and they're poor, or even if they're just as expected, then the pound could have a large depreciation against the dollar. So those are a couple levels I'll be looking at over the next couple days. If you want to follow us at SynergyFX, we'll be posting updates throughout the week. Probably throw up a couple of the pound announcements. And thank you very much for watching this video, and good luck trading the markets this week.